Welcome to the stream. Today it's Factorio again, after I guess over 2 weeks where I haven't played, or where I haven't streamed at least. I have played a little bit Factorio in the meantime. I have added yellow science, I think, to this little factory. This is still not using the next tier of productivity. This is using higher quality level 1 productivity modules. I have decided to still or also produce those. And I'm in a bit of a problem, or I'm unsure whether I should go for this stone patch just by... Okay, my neighbors are very loud. I guess they're moving furniture again. I wonder whether I should go there by belt or build a train, and if I build a train I should probably use a proper train grid like I tried to show here, but I think it will look different. I think I will use elevated rails. So yeah, that's my to-do list, sort of. I can move these tags. Yeah, I wanted to make military science because otherwise I can't make the portable fission reactor. I can't research that otherwise. Maybe I want also to have a tank. Luckily this playthrough is peaceful, but I will still have to do some things remotely. Like, for instance, I might have to remove spawners. I might still just build turrets next to it. Hello, Morb. I guess that redeem didn't come through. I guess I have to do another redeem
My
first.
factory, my rules.
It is sort of still that if the last redeem, the last video redeem called was the specific one, then you can't have that specific one again.
Morbid fancy.
But thank you for redeeming that again. I just didn't find that quickly. I guess I had to look higher up because it's 42 points. My neighbors are very actively moving furniture again. How many cats do you have nowadays? Thought about going to Glabber at some point, but I would have to build a better and a new space platform. This one is too small and I want to keep it as a space science platform. Funny how this planet rotates. It looks a bit like the pole should be here, but I guess the potential location of ice caps depends rather on the angle towards the sun, not necessarily on the rotation axis. 58k, I guess that's less than me, but I have infinite, so that's not a fair comparison. But you also used a lot recently, whenever that recently was. Did you go to 420? Yeah, I guess you don't have to necessarily do that again. It can be a one-time unique live event. Still have to learn Factorio again after not really playing for a bunch of weeks. And I also got a new laptop that might be even better at playing Factorio, but I'm not sure if it's good at streaming or good for streaming. But having a laptop is good if I have to leave my home for a few days or weeks at a time. I guess I will just fetch, or I have fetched already a few rail supports and rail ramps, so I could try starting to design a elevated rail system. I might just copy that. I have been leaving my home once for a few days recently, but I will be in Norway in September for about 2 weeks, and that's a bit long to expect myself not to play Factorio. No way, yes. A very good location. I guess it will still be quite hot in September, I'm not sure. I think last time I checked for July. Because I guess the train between Berlin and Hamburg is being renovated from August, but I think it still is possible to go to Hamburg, which I need to do for going to Norway. So I guess the travel in September is still possible. I'm so indecisive. I should build this elsewhere, where I have space and time, where there's no train wanting to go through within a few minutes. Yeah, I wondered when that would happen, and I tried to put off informing myself. There were times when I wanted to go to Hamburg specifically. Also, at that time I didn't really have a good laptop, so that was also a demotivating factor. I have certain friends in Hamburg, but I also don't know when they really have time and the energy to host a guest. Yeah, especially disabled neurodivergent people who might not always be in the mood for other people, like myself. I can't be social every day. Ramen sounds nice. I might just build the actual thing down here. So I want my rail blocks to always be between these 3 roboports, so it will be 2 roboport distances. So the next thing would be here. There might be a thing going up. And no thing going down. I will have only 3-way rail connections nowadays. It would be cool to, in parallel, build a spaceship. Not sure how I would call my spaceship that wants to go to Glebber. Maybe the Mushroom Farmer. I wonder whether a space platform starter pack is on the way. Whether I am offering them to the system, I guess not. So I will try to do that now. So let's say less than 1 for now, and then I will just have these things going through. And I still have to add blue circuits and steel. That shouldn't be too difficult if I understand the belt direction correctly. Oh, that's a slow belt. Okay, that should be working well enough. I might now, for a short time at least, continue building this. I think I will work in parallel on this grid design. Once I have the design, I can just copy it everywhere. At least when there's not much in the way, like these biter nests, they are sort of in the way. So I might have to kill some biter nests to get to certain places. Like that stone patch over there. I don't again want to build such a long belt and web connection. I want to one day do everything with trains. I'm not sure if I want to keep this distance between the rails. I guess in that case I would have to move the locations of these power poles. Okay, I moved them accidentally down already, but that's fine. I guess there will not be a connection going horizontally. And now we have a new space platform. And I will just create some platform scaffolding around it. Or foundation, is it called here? I guess it's scaffolding in the space exploration mod pack. Maybe I can actually, for once in my life, do a space platform where the hub is on the left. So far in most of my designs it's on the right. I guess that will take a while to deliver all those space platforms. So I want a connection that goes over this. I also want a connection that goes from here to there. I guess I might also put some dummy signals in just to tell myself the directions. I think I have right-hand drive in the rest of my existing train network. And I might just build a hotbar for train-related things. I guess trains can also go onto that hotbar. So I can easily grab them and place them. Not sure what else I need. I don't know if I have any substations yet. Maybe I should produce them. They might be simpler to handle than these little power poles. And I need to remember that I can't fly. I don't have the mech armor. So what do I need for substations? Steel, copper cable and red circuits. There is steel and red circuits, and copper plates might be turned into copper cables. Not sure if they are around anywhere else nearby. So this will be the production for substations. And this might be the production for copper cables. I will use quality there, I will use productivity there. I think that should be it. Mostly. And now I just need electricity. For a short amount of time I will power this with this small electric pole. But now I have a substation, or I guess it's called a medium electric pole that I just had. And now I can power the substation production with a substation. And I will just wait until I have like 100 of them of the normal quality, and I will just let the other qualities accumulate there. Maybe I need to have a little hole here to get through a little bit easier. Do not just have to run around the top and be able to get through the middle. And if I have a grid design, I might also build power grids, and I might even use substations for the power grid, which might be more space efficient. I wonder if there's any good three-way I'm looking for a blueprint just as an inspiration. I don't know if I would copy it completely. I think I recently... well, maybe not. I thought I might have copied some kind of blueprint into my bookmarks. T-junction. Is it a T-junction or a three-way? So it should be possible to build one without any place where the trains hold each other up. I was just looking at one design, but it's not very small and not very tiny or tidy. That's what I wanted to say. I'm not even using any construction bots or personal roboports. Maybe I should work on that soon. I guess I'm not yet producing personal roboports anywhere. But I could also just wait for robots to come to me if I need them. At some point I also thought I might have a train system where one side of the tracks is always elevated, or mostly elevated. But that might not work everywhere, and I'm not sure how that would look, and if the elevated rails might be in the way sometimes. Let's look at that space platform. It's still far from being built. But there are rockets being sent up every now and then, so progress might be happening. I think I want to try having elevated rails on this bottom side. So I need to do that quite early. The switch to the upper direction. I might try to integrate the rail that's coming from below. Might try to pretend to integrate it. I might always change the compactness of the thing later. I don't have to already make it totally compact. This looks a bit weird, I don't know. Maybe it's just the wobbling of the ghost. So, and then I will have a rail ramp. That just fits. I don't think I could fit a rail ramp between this distance, this little distance. Or could I? Not really. It always collides on one side. And I need to be aware that at this point I want to already be able to go down again. So maybe my whole train network is a bit too tight. I need to figure that out. So this looks a bit too complex. This might work. Let's just build that for now. Or let's just have it as a blueprint for now. You have ramen. That's good. Hope they're tasty. Is it the same ones you recommended to me? This looks weird. I think there's a different way to build this. Same peanut butter node, that's good. So you also always use the cooking method, cooking it in a pot. I guess that's what the instructions say. There are some other ramen that want to just have hot water over them. But I didn't want to risk trying that. But luckily it's still just under 10 minutes of cooking work. Okay. Then it's fine that it works like that. Maybe I should try that as well. Yeah, boiling. Luckily they automated boiling of water in a way, so that you don't have to stand next to a pot and wait until it's not throwing water all around. I think there's a better way than using elevated rails there. I think there are just two ways where I could go. So this looks a bit simpler. Yeah, it's quite evil that some people have so little while others have so much. Yeah, I guess it is kind of standard here. Recently, one of our kettles broke and we still had a little backup from my previous flat, but it's just 1 liter, which is still fine for many applications. Would be good if kettles existed everywhere, or if there were like common kitchens where people could just use those common items. So I guess there is a way to make this prettier, and I still need a connection from here to there. Jim Sinclair, I think I didn't know Jim before. Not sure if you recommend it at some point. Maybe. Someone with a beard. A little bit of a beard. American autistic activist and writer. Not sure if I have ever, maybe there might have been some little talk that I might have watched, but might also be someone else. I tended to watch some autism specific YouTube a while ago, but I guess recently not so much. But I'm still subscribed to, for instance, Amber Green, or there was another channel. I might just look at my subscriptions. There are also some other channels that I could recommend while I'm at it. So I will just write them in chat. Some channels. Amber Green. A lot of autism and neurodivergence content and anti-capitalist, anti-fascist. I guess it was something like Autism So What, or I'm Autistic Now What? That's YouTube. So that's another channel. And there was someone else who I wanted to shout out, so to speak. Dr. Fatima. A lot about astronomy, astrophysics, and decolonization. I guess that's my shout-out round for now. Okay, we live in similar information spaces, that's good, in a way. So I guess I will just build my first thing that comes to mind and actually works. But actually it's not that easy. I have to build the turn. Then I have to build the ramp. Then I have to go over the rail. And where do I want to connect? I guess somewhere like here. So this looks overly complicated. And I guess I can reduce on this loop by moving it all over a bit. I guess I could just start here and move it over later. So I guess that is the point where I need to go. So just one rail to the right. And I still need another rail support there, I guess. Once I have a working system, I might implement it everywhere, but that's also a problem because if it's bad, then I might have implemented it everywhere and I want to amend it and can't anymore because it's everywhere. Guess that's one bad thing about standards that get adopted before they are properly tested. I want to measure the distance between these individual parts. So it's like 3 from there. And then a little bit, I guess that's fine. And now I need to put another rail support here. I want to also do the same there. I guess it would have to go there. So it looks at least slightly symmetric. So this might work. It's not very pretty, but it might do the trick. There may be better solutions. Not sure if I might have copied some somewhere or write some out. So from everywhere there should be 2 connections to everywhere. From here, I guess I might use signals now. This goes to this place and to that place. Might have to check whether that actually fits with my overall strategy. It might not. Anyway, I will place the signals first, just so I know whether it might work in general. I don't know if there could be a symmetric way to do it. And I guess in this factory I would only use one trains, one locomotive and one wagon. Did I signal everything? Very cheap. Okay, I will just copy that now. And then I will see whether it actually fits together with itself. It does not seem to fit together with itself. So I guess I need to go back to the drawing board. Or do I? I guess I could try some other design a few blocks over, and then I will compare them. I don't have to rip up a design that is sort of working for one intersection. But I will have to rip up some trees. Rip to the trees. I guess the next design will be built here. And I might have a little look at my space platform, whether it already has enough platform pieces. There's not enough power connection. Okay, that happened. I guess I might even add a few more platforms. This needs to defend itself and produce fuel on board. I might already copy certain things from my first space platform. Maybe that whole circuit thing. With a solar panel. Not sure if this is the best location. I might just build it there and find out later how good that was. I don't know if you always also would like to know one of my German friends who is on YouTube and does some autism and neurodivergence talking. I will quickly research the channel. I might even just link it as it is. I guess I will just copy this whole blueprint and then edit it rather than starting out fresh. Maybe. There is even an interview with me on that channel a few years back about basic income. I don't know if you have seen that before. A German interview. Then have fun, maybe looking at it if you want. Not sure if I would say everything as I did before. I mean, like I did in that interview, but maybe. Was it 3 years ago? I guess if you search for DGE or something, you might find it. Or work. I guess it was like 3 years ago, or maybe even 4, I'm not sure. There even was a stream a few years back, a Twitch stream, of which the VOD was never published so far. Maybe I need to have different spacing between the rails. I guess that would allow me to put elevated rail ramps in the middle. I might have to come up with a totally new layer, I mean grid. This would then force me to remove all the grid that I built so far. Or I have to give up and basically choose a different grid size. Or just build everything with non-elevated rails. But I think since I have elevated rails available, I should also just use them. I might just put everything one rail line further apart. Maybe that will give me more space. Hello, Rory. Hope you're having a nice day. So I will need to measure where this goes. Probably there. I can use more space in the vertical, I think, since I want to alternate where things go up and where things go down. So here there will be a thing going up to there. There will be a horizontal rail, for instance. And then here things go up and here things go down. I hope I can make that work. I might even just do the vertical connection with an elevated rail, or at least this vertical connection. Okay, let's build a ramp. Not sure where exactly. Still needs to fit. And I might have to give up on having the substations in the middle. Might be rather useless if they don't fit together with the elevated rails. So this could be one further to the right and the other could be one further down, I guess. If I want the direct connection. Also, Would even have it one more to the right. Maybe I need a more redundant power system if I constantly remove things. So this might be also already too close to there. Maybe I need to already copy everything that I do in a mirrored way down here. The bad thing is that the substations would also have to be copied, or I guess I could just remove them. And maybe there's also a way to move this even further to the right. Anyway, I will copy this without the substations. So this wouldn't fit together. Maybe with a few more, well, many more blocks to the side, then it would work. I guess this might work if I can manage to move this over to the right by at least one block, maybe even two. I might also just have this elevated rail. Maybe the vertical connections could be elevated completely. This is really a prototyping stream. There will not be much productivity involved in this stream. I guess we can assume that this is already coming from up high. This also almost looks like it might be... I mean, it might have to connect to the lower end of the rails somehow. I can't just have high rails arrive here without any downward ramp. The good thing is that I still have that, even though I have to move this. I have to remember the position of the rails, or of the ramp. Guess it was sort of there. What if it is there instead? Or even there. I don't think this will work, but I might just have a little try. Yeah, it will be the Robopod will be in the way. And if I do this, it will also be in the way. What if I go around the roboport? Where can I start going around it? So this might work. And then I would just have something similar. I want to measure the middle between these roboports. The middle might be exactly there. I would have to build the next curve there if I want to mirror it. I need to basically keep that in mind. So this rail also needs to go up there somewhere. How about with a ramp? Can I turn earlier than that? I could. Maybe I should. Or can I? I guess I can't do that exactly. One thing I might have to do is sort of turn into there, or maybe I have to remove the spacing again, move the spacing together again. Even that would work. I guess I could also move where these rails are going. And then I would combine those. Why does that not work? Why does it build so weird contraptions? I guess because of the rail support or the rail ramp being in the way. Have to start there, yeah, that works. This looks a bit weird, I think I can make it a bit better. Maybe not. This feels like one curve too much. This should go. So if this rail ramp is placed... Wait. Why doesn't it get placed? This rail support. Hello, Kana. Thank you for lurking. I guess this works. I will hydrate. So there still needs to be a connection from up there to here. Something like that, maybe. I will have to do some redundant power, maybe. Luckily I have the far reach mod, so I don't have to go everywhere to build things. So, where does this curve work? This doesn't actually work like that. Hope you have fun with Elden Ring, Rory. Kind of sad that the rail support wants to be on the... Oh, now it works. Maybe I can build it that way. I don't know if it can be built any better. But let's imagine this goes to there. It continues to go up. And now I just need a connection from up there to down here. And maybe then I have all the connections I need. Still want to move this over by a bit, or at least try to. Might just copy the whole thing again and try maybe mirroring it. I will remove the power bolts and then I will try placing it down here or down there. And there I see a little problem. These elevated rails are overlapping. I wonder if that's only a bad thing or if I could use that for good. I think they are going in the opposite direction. This one is coming from there. I guess they are arriving in the horizontal. So I would need to bring it out a bit. I might always try to move this over. I think in the other direction it doesn't really cause too many problems. This will be a big graveyard full of rail designs. I need to eventually remove everything and start over by building them properly. So I guess this is, there's a 2 block gap in between. If I move everything by 1 rail block, it is not enough. One idea would be to move this over to the right. Then I need to remove the start or move the start. I guess I will try moving or changing things in parallel. And I have to do a lot of manual deconstruction because I don't have any construction bots yet. Maybe I should work on construction bots instead, so I have at least a little bit of help. I guess while I'm standing around I don't need the exoskeletons, so the energy would then be used to power robots. Let's look at personal roboport. I guess I will have to send batteries to here. There is steel. I need red circuits, I guess. Steel and red circuits, just like for the substation, or for a lot of other things here. I guess I'll just automate the personal roboport now. Not sure if I want to do it with quality, maybe not. I will have to upgrade them anyway sometime in the future, as soon as I get military science. I need gear wheels and batteries. Gear wheels should be down there. I might produce one full stack of them. And where are the batteries? Batteries should be here. Oh no, don't do that. Don't put stuff on the belt that shouldn't be there, just because I can't pick things up anymore. So the mushroom farmer has been improved a little bit. I guess I can't build connections to there. Might have to build something in between. I guess I don't have enough rare solar panels down here. Anyway, I'm getting a little bit distracted. Okay, this will produce me some personal robopods. And I guess it's time for me to take a little break.